What's up, grinders? Welcome to the Daily Fantasy Takedown. My name is Chris Gravel, better known as Gravy Cakes, and I'm here to break down 4 fighters for this week's UFC on Fight Night 104 card, featuring Dennis Bermudez against the Korean Zombie in the main event. My first pick this week is the biggest favorite on the card in Jessica Andrade, who can be had for 9,300 on DK. Andrade is coming off 2 stoppage victories since moving down to strawweight, and she's looking to pick up her 3rd straight victory against Angela Hill, who's making her 2nd stint in the UFC. Hill's on a bit of a hot streak in Invicta, winning 4 straight fights, and she's getting the call back to the UFC here, but she's faced nowhere near the competition that Andrade has recently. I like Andrade for a lot of reasons here. She's better almost everywhere in this fight apart from Hill's slick sub game, but I think Andrade could hit a lot of takedowns here. She lands at a ridiculous 6.45 significant strikes per minute pace, and though she's the most expensive fighter on the card, the 9.3k price tag is a steal in my opinion. She's definitely the fighter I'm trying to lock into all my cash game lineups. My next pick this week is Chaz Skelly, who can be had for 8,800 on DraftKings. The scrapper is much more than his nickname gives him credit for. Skelly has a great submission game, good wrestling, and I think he should be able to control this fight from start to finish. Coming off a nice win versus Maximo Blanco, where he hurt him on the feet and quickly got the sub, he's starting to show an improved striking game, which should give his opponent Grutzemacher enough problems where he should really be worrying about the takedown and the strike. Another thing I want to mention about his opponent Grutzemacher here is that he's previously been knocked out by Artem Lobov, who hasn't shown a lot of power in his recent UFC fights. I think Skelly could get the TKO here. Also, the sub is definitely in play, and he should be a good GPP play. For my next pick, we're heading to the big boys, where I've got Curtis Blaydes, who can be had for 8,900 on DK. Blaydes has a lot going for himself in this fight. He's definitely on the rise in the UFC, and he's recently scored an upset win over Coda East. The next fight he's got here against Adam Milstead is definitely a step down in competition in my opinion. Blaydes is a power wrestler, currently training at Elevation Fight Team, where he's working on his ever-improving hands. Milstead, his opponent, has come out and openly said that Blaydes is a terrible matchup for him, and you can definitely see why in Milstead's previous fight against Danny Omolanchuk. Milstead had a lot of trouble on the feet with arguably the worst heavyweight on the roster, and now he gets a double threat here, where he has to deal with Blaydes striking and threat of the takedown. He's a bit overpriced in my liking for cash games, and there's a lot of variance in heavyweight fights to begin with, but I think he makes for a decent GPP play, as this fight should end in quick order. My final pick this week is a GPP only play, but Khalil Rountree makes for an amazing tournament option at 8.5k on DraftKings. Rountree has serious issues with defending the takedown, and his ground game is suspect at best, but he definitely packs power on the feet and should be a real threat to get a quick TKO in this fight. The main reason why I like Khalil Rountree is his opponent Daniel Jolly's propensity to keep the fight standing, and he isn't a big threat for the takedown. Daniel Jolly will definitely try to implement this strategy this week, but I'm hoping Rountree's been working on his takedown defense, and if he can keep it standing, I love him at 8,500 in tournaments. With an inside distance prop of minus 125, which is one of the best on the card, plus the fact this is the first fight on Fight Pass, which means it's definitely going to be low owned, as most tournament players like to watch and choose main event fighters. Alright guys, that's it for this week's edition of the Daily Fantasy Takedown. Before you go, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel for all the daily fantasy content you could ever desire. Make sure you give this video a like, and thank you for watching. Best of luck in your contest this week.